Hi there, I am the Reverend Danny Crosby, a Unitarian minister serving congregations in Altrincham and in Urmston in the northwest of England. And I offer this devotion as a balm for the heart, for the mind, for the spirit, and for the soul. And it's titled, Every Day You Have Less Reason Not to Give Yourself Away. And I'm going to begin with a poem actually that line's taken from. It's from my favourite farmer poet, the wonderfully named Wendell Berry. A wonderful, always a farmer before a poet, a wonderfully named and wonderful, beautiful human being. And this poem actually is often seen as a poem about death and dying, but really it's a poem about generosity. As Parker J. Palmer calls it, the most living, giving of all virtues, generosity. So this is Sabbaths, 1993, 1. No, no, there is no going back. Less and less you are the possibility you were. More and more you have become those lives and deaths that have belonged to you. You have become a sort of grave containing much that was and is no more in time, beloved then, now, and always. And you have become a sort of tree standing over a grave. Now, more than ever, you can be generous toward each day that comes, young to disappear forever, and yet remain unaging in the mind. Every day you have less reason not to give yourself away. Every day you have less reason not to give yourself away. This is the thoughts that I'm carrying with me at the beginning of this year. How was your Christmas and New Year? Question folk are asking all the time. I had a lovely, quiet and restful couple of days on Christmas and Boxing Day. Very quiet, very still. It was just what I needed as I was very, very tired. In fact, exhausted, if I'm honest with you. I had given so much of late and had to face some difficult challenges over the last few months, but I had come through them with faith and integrity. I had lived with integrity and faith, and I feel strengthened by this. I have felt so deeply loved and supported too, and this has meant so much to me. I have been truly comforted, held with assurance from both visible and invisible hands. I have seen myself and I have seen the world through fresher eyes, and this is never easy. And I've given a lot too. I have felt deeply. I see more clearly now how I am a deeply sensitive soul, deeply. And that's not always easy. It never has been. That said, I have lived with integrity, and I feel a deeper sense of connection and aliveness as a result of this. I feel I know myself, I know life, and I know God more intimately. It's a beautiful thing. I've felt this powerfully these last few days, deeply, deeply, maybe more than powerfully, intensely, perhaps. After some time alone, I spent some time with family, catching up with people, and saw most of the and friends too, and saw most of the people I wanted to see, but not all. I would have liked to have seen one or two more friends, but it just wasn't possible. Did not have the time, not this time. And there will be other times if I'm blessed. So I did hear from a dear old friend on New Year's Eve who has been very close to death actually, and I want to see him soon too. It was lovely being with people I have known all my life. There was a deeper love too for them and for life. They have had their troubles, they have their troubles, and we shared a little about them too. One or two made comments about my life in recent months, and it was said to me in a variety of ways. These words were said to me, maybe not exactly, but it was said in some more subtle and some more direct, because that's the way of some people. It was said to me to be careful, not to give myself away too much. I remember I smiled at this. I didn't say anything really. It was said from a place of love, but not a place of true understanding. One of the things I have a greater understanding of these last few months is that I am who I am, and it is vital for me to live life my way and try not to be something that I am not. It just doesn't, it always leaves me depressed when I do. I have to be true to who I really, really am. So I smiled to myself at this loving concern. Came from a place of love. But I suspect I will have given myself away quite a bit these next 12 months. For I am what I am. So I'm not going to start singing again. Don't give yourself away too much, Danny. I was smiling about this as I drove through the fog on the M62. I'm not sure exactly how I do that, you see. I am who I am. One thing I have noticed about myself these last few months has been a deeper acceptance of who I actually am and the world in which I live and breathe. By the way, this does not mean I give it my approval. Not that the world needs my approval, but just because I accept something does not mean I approve of it. It's more that I have a deeper acceptance of that this is how life is, this is reality. Don't always like it. Delusion about reality serves no one. It is vital to live with an awakened eye and an awakened heart and an awakened soul and open and awakened hands to touch and be touched by all that is. And I've been thinking of Wendell Berry's poem Sabbaths these last few days. I think it's a New Year poem. I reckon it's written for the 1st of January. But it's the end of the poem that really gets into the heart of me. And that last line. Every day you have less reason not to give yourself away. Time ticks on. I have learned that if you truly want to know yourself, actually, this is how you know yourself. This is how you find yourself. And it's how you know love, how your very being gets transformed and you become who you are by giving yourself away. And yet people tell me not to. By pouring your heart out, you fill your heart with love, for the love flows through. And in so doing, your mind and your spirit knows peace. For me, as I understand it now, this is the purpose of the religious life, the true, free religious life, of living in true, intimate spiritual community. This is how we do it. You have to be open to receive too, of course. You cannot experience this if you practice your spirituality in isolation. Again, something I've felt more deeply too of late. This is true religion, I believe. And religion gets a bad name these days. And rightly so, really. As for too long, it's been about control, it's been about dogma, which I don't believe is the true purpose of religion, not in its truest spirit. But I believe it's about giving yourself away. And in so doing, that's how you find yourself and become who you truly are. It's certainly how I do anyway. And I see others too. And this kind of brings to mind, I remember reading Karen Armstrong many years ago, and I remember the quote on true religion as she saw it actually. She said, "Religion is not about accepting 20 impossible propositions before breakfast, but about doing things that change you. It is a moral aesthetic, an ethical alchemy. If you behave in a certain way, you will be transformed. When we dare to move beyond the known patterns and perceptions of our lives, letting the alchemy of love, listening, and justice do its work, then we will be more than changed. The base metals of our lives will be transformed into something precious and flourishing. This is the purpose of religion and the meaning of a religious life, to be transformed." think that's so true. The religious life is about transformation. Maybe the spiritual life without community is about transcendence, about being beyond this life. But to live in community, spiritual community, is to be transformed and be a transforming agent for good, of course. Unfortunately, there is bad religion, of course there is. And that's not just a post-punk band from America. These thoughts were passing through me, through my being really, as I reflected on the recent weeks of my life and the people I have shared my life with. I see so many gorgeous examples of this transformation in these people, and it's utterly beautiful, so beautiful. Again, to repeat those words of Wendell Berry, every day you have less reason not to give yourself away. This is about living generously. My word, have I witnessed a lot of this in the ordinary people I share my life with. And I'm not talking about on the big global scale. I'm talking about in the communities that intersect my life. When I look at the big picture, if you like, on the news screens, what I see is selfishness and greed. I do. And yet when I look at the people around me that I know intimately, what I witness is generosity. What I witness is people giving themselves away for others. And that fills my heart. It transforms my soul. It's beautiful. As Parker J. Palmer has said, in reflecting on this poem by Wendell Berry, he pointed out generosity does not require material abundance. When I look at the people I have been around in recent weeks, I witness this generosity of spirit, this generosity of time, and this generosity of heart. And I've witnessed it every time I've visited someone suffering, someone ill, whether physically or emotionally or mentally or spiritually, actually. And I've seen it in the people around me. I have witnessed people giving their time, giving their support. I've witnessed their open-hearted presence, their hope, even in the suffering of their loved ones, their deep, deep love, their generosity of spirit. These are the gifts that we have to give of ourselves. This is how we bring the divine love alive. This is why we're here. This is the meaning, the purpose of life. This is the alchemy that transforms life. This is the heart of true, free, loving religion. This is gratitude in action. This is living with gratitude. This is living with abundance, from abundance, by abundance. This is living by extravagant love. This is God incarnating in our ordinary, humble human lives. And sadly, too often we can be afraid to give ourselves away. In fact, we're told over and over again, don't give yourself away too much. Don't do it. Why? Why? What are we so afraid of? No, time is passing by. Time is short. Every day you have less reason not to give yourself away. It's that simple, really. And yet at times it can feel so complicated. But this is the transformative nature of the true religious life, the free religious life. It comes alive as we come alive, as we give ourselves away, encouraging others to do the same. And it brings to mind actually another favourite poem that came back into my heart in those in-between days between Christmas and New Year by Mark Nepo. This is another one I return to. Accepting This. Accepting This by Mark Nepo. Yes, it is true. I confess I have thought great thoughts and sung great songs. All of it a rehearsal for the majesty of being held. The dream is awakened when thinking I love you, and life begins when saying I love you, and joy moves like blood when embracing others with love. My efforts now turn from trying to outrun suffering to accepting love wherever I can find it. Stripped of causes and plans and things to strive for, I have discovered everything I could need or ask for is right here in flawed abundance. In flawed abundance. We cannot eliminate hunger, but we can feed each other. We cannot eliminate loneliness, but we can hold each other. We cannot eliminate pain, but we can live a life of compassion. Ultimately, we are small things awakened in the stream, not gods who carve out rivers. Like human fish, we're asked to experience meaning in the life that moves through the gill of our heart. There is nothing to do and nowhere to go. Accepting this, we can do everything and go anywhere. Accepting this is it. Accepting it all. Doesn't mean you approve, but you have to accept. I love the beautiful paradoxes in this poem, paradoxes that speak to me of what it means to live spiritually alive and in the company of others. I have witnessed and experienced so much of what it speaks of these last few weeks. This has filled my heart and it has humbled me. I have borne witness to how the Spirit only comes alive in relation truly. That's what the spiritual life is about, actually. It's about relationships. You cannot be a spiritual being, a living, breathing one at least, in isolation. It only truly occurs in community, as messy as community can be. The more we give ourselves away, the more we all receive. It's that strange arithmetic of giving that multiplies by subtraction. Like abundantly, on into infinity. No one knows how much it may grow. Abundant living, how it humbles me, so beautiful. But here's a confession. I'm going to end this little devotion with a confession. I hope you can forgive this confession. You know what? When I think about it, life, my life, this life, the way that folk can be, is an utter mystery to me. God at the heart of it, another mystery. It doesn't really make sense. My own life doesn't make sense, not completely. I don't fully understand it. I can't make total sense of it. You know what? I'm a mystery to me. And you know what? I'm totally at ease with that today. The other day I felt as free as I have ever felt as I was out in the park walking with Molly on Christmas Day. Alone walking like that fish in the floating through the water, chatting with the folk I met on my way. My head was completely empty and my heart was as full as it has ever been. I felt this incredible sense of belonging, this pure love flowing through me. My eyes only saw love that day. I felt powerful the presence of God in every person, in everything I met. Letters from God everywhere, and I left them there for others to pick up, to badly paraphrase Whitman. I looked at that day and it seemed to me that all was made in the divine image, including me. That's what I witnessed. But what do I know? I'll tell you what, all I really know is that every day I have less reason not to give myself away. Maybe that's all I really need to know. Maybe all I have to do is keep on remembering this and keep on giving myself away. Well, the next time I forget, please remind me. Please remind me. Every day I have less reason not to give myself away. Every day you have less reason not to give yourself away. I'm going to end with some final words of blessing, as I always do. Well, this is, may you know blessings in everywhere you go, give and receive them. And we need to bless more, and we can all bless. And we bless when we give ourselves away wholeheartedly to life. So, may the love that overcomes all differences, the love that heals all wounds, the love that puts to flight all fears, the love that reconciles all who are separated, may that love be alive in us and among us, now and always. And may that love that is God, may that go with us, and may it do flow through us, and may it do so in all that we feel, in all that we think, in all that we say, in all that we do. Go in love and peace. Amen.